So my mentor sold his company for $66 million. There's a lot I learned in this process of working with him that he taught me as I helped him with digital marketing, helping him with his business. He took me up under his wing. I set in $100 million deals, learned a whole bunch about business that I don't think many people even know. Let's get into it. We had to figure out how to target people that wanted luxury real estate. Now, you got to keep in mind, trying to sell to a higher end customer is a very hard thing to do. This is a select amount of people. Again, the top 5%. So reaching out to these people isn't something we could do. We had to figure out these people's interests. We had to figure out what they're into, what they like to do, all different types of things. And the main thing that we was able to do was we targeted individuals in lower Manhattan that made a certain amount of income that would be interested in purchasing a second or a third home. We effectively did the strategy and we sold one house for $728,000. What I realized was that by targeting these individuals, we built up a client base that was so substantial. What I'm saying to you is that he left me in charge. He gave me the direction. He gave me access and he gave me funding. But he hired the people that can get it done. He hired somebody that was hungry, ready to prove themselves and get something done. So what I'm essentially telling you is that sometimes you got to take risks on people that may not know in order to grow. Because from there, you all are growing at the same time. Because another thing that people got to keep in mind is product development. A lot of people tend to want to send their product cross seas and get a manufacturer to create it for pennies on the dollar so they can be more profitable. I understand you Amazon FBA sellers, but the thing is that this is very dangerous. Why? Because a lot of these manufacturers cross seas will take your product, replicate your product, and compete directly with you in the marketplace. That's what you got to keep in mind. And don't get me wrong, I understand that trying to develop a product and resell it in America is a very expensive process. I understand these things. And that's where we got to find a counterbalance in this whole process, because essentially places like India, Africa are becoming new hubs for technological innovations, especially when it comes to manufacturers. America can do a lot better if we manufacture our own products. All I'm saying is that if you're going to be an entrepreneur and if you're going to be someone that's successful, my mentor essentially would tell me, hey, watch how we get these products from cross seas. I know how this really works. I know what it really costs, because even during COVID, this individual was able to sell a whole bunch of masks. People that may work in a restaurant field may find more success getting these products from South America as opposed to going across seas to China, because China's going to try to steal your ideas, take your product, rip you off, and sell it to you at the same time. Focus on selling. I didn't always agree with this because I believe in building a brand, and sometimes you got to give away a lot in order to make a dollar. So his mindset was, it doesn't matter. As long as we get a sale, that's what really matters. And I really couldn't process that because he was willing to take on jobs that didn't even equate to the dollar value. So what he would do is he would give away a lot of free work. He'll have me on staff, a videographer on staff, a social media producer on staff, a content writer on staff, and a web developer on staff. And I managed all of these people, and we would give away free product. We would do free podcasts for people and all these things. I'd be like, what are you doing? You want me to focus on selling, but you're giving away all this time. You gave away like 50 hours of studio time. What's the point? But what I didn't understand was that he was building a relationship that allowed him to have more leads, more connections, and essentially get more dollars generated in another department of his business. See, I didn't know this, but when you're dealing with people that are in the top 5, 10% of capital in the United States, you learn a couple of things. But the whole point of focusing on selling, and when we weren't generating the dollar, was a hard thing for me to understand. Focusing on selling, generating that dollar, being able to pay the loans on the money that you're using in order to grow this business services the debt at the same time. So even if you're not necessarily that profitable, but you took out money to fund the business and you're paying the debt, you're servicing the loan in order to grow a business that can eventually sustain itself. And also training people within departments to run that business for you so you can go to France and hang out for the weekend. To target higher end customers, not the regular folks that's looking for single family homes. We had to target the individuals that are looking for a second or third home. Most people give up. Most people feel like, hey, this is too hard. I have to stop. What I had to understand and what my mentor had to enlighten me on is that even though I may have the skill set, I may have been doing digital marketing for that at that time for 14 years, there's a lot I still needed to learn. I wasn't selling a company for $66 million. So I needed to understand some things. And he told me and my team, who he spent well over 6 figures a year hiring all of us, pack up your bags, and I want you to go downtown. I want you to knock on doors, and I want you to hand them our business card, and so we can drum up business for our company. So I was like, why are we going to do that, dude? I'm a digital marketer. We can just advertise on the internet and reach people. But sometimes a lot of people feel it more personable when you get out there and you actually introduce yourself and be like, hey, I do this. I'm also online. We can help your business become more visible. And I just wanted to introduce myself, and feel free to reach out.